What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about Heatwave in this video and asking the question, what the heck is going on with this card? Do you guys think that this is some really under the radar spicy tech that could be useful at YCS Pittsburgh or throughout national season? Because it apparently seems that a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, or at least the buyers out there, believe that, and I am not sure exactly where it's coming from. And if you guys have been actually looking at this card over the last 36 hours or so, it's basically quadrupled in price. I mean, it went from a little under $3 to $12. Like, what the fuck? And I can't figure out why. Like, I haven't really seen anyone talk about this card. I haven't seen it do well at any events. So I'm really trying to understand where this is coming from. And it is a Star Strike Blast card. If you guys don't know, Star Strike Blast is just, it's like one of the anomalies, much like Maximum Crisis and this whole not getting secret rares and booster cases and stuff like that. Star Strike Blast never had an unlimited printing run. Everything in Star Strike Blast, every card you will ever find in the wild, in the TCG, it's all first edition. So it makes the cards kind of just spike really, really hard. In fact, I made the video on Droll and Lockbird the other day, and the card basically doubled in price. My apologies for that. I didn't know that that was going to happen, but it is a Star Strike Blast card, so, you know, if people start playing this at YCS Pittsburgh, it would, you know, I think it would have happened anyway, just because Droll and Lockbird is a Star Strike Blast card, and that just tends to happen. But as far as I know, no one has really done anything impressive with Heatwave, and if you guys don't know what Heatwave is, it's very much akin to Cold Wave. If you guys remember the super old card from Pharaoh Servant, it's one of the biggest reasons why Gladiator Beast became a tier 0 deck. It was played in Synchro Cat after after the Synchro Cat run. Konami was like, all right, we've had a fucking enough of this. And this was all before like the advent of a Fat Veiler and Maxi. So like Cold Wave, once you activated Cold Wave, it was definitively the end of spells and traps. There were no hand traps or any of that shit. Your opponent was basically going to be going YOLO. And this card, it does something similar to that. It basically says that you can activate it, or you have to activate it at the start of your main phase, and until your next draw phase, neither player can special summon or normal summon effect monsters, and that can definitely be powerful. I mean, you're basically locking your opponent out from putting monsters on the board, and most decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, probably upwards of 90%, probably 99% of decks usually run a lot of effect monsters, and people just don't like the set. I mean, can you think of really setting any of the Zodiacs? Unless it's like Ram Ram or something, I probably don't want to set any of my monsters. The thing is, I guess Metaphors can kind of play around this because they do run a lot of normal monsters in the deck, and they can still pendulum them and put them in defense mode, and obviously they can still fusion summon because they have vanillas that are, they have vanilla fusions, and they can at least wall up. But overall, I think that it does have some potential. My problem is, and the difference between it and Cold Wave is, if you do play Heat Wave, you don't really get the, like, you don't get to put any more monsters on the board unless you're playing those vanillas. You already kind of have to have an established board, so I just don't really see the big potential in this card. If you already have the really big established board, then you should probably be winning anyways. You shouldn't need this card. It seems like it'd be better to have something like Dimensional Barrier to help you protect it during your opponent's turn, where you wouldn't have to wait until the next turn to activate it. So I don't know. It's really hard for me to imagine seeing this card as like a really good powerhouse deck. Maybe if you're playing like Stargrails or something like that, because they have a bunch of vanillas, but that's not coming out until Code of the Duelist, and that deck is flooded with effect monsters as well, mainly the Link monsters. So I don't know, like, what do you guys think is happening with Heatwave? Have you guys heard anything as to why this card has become, I don't know, so expensive all of a sudden? Because yeah, over the last day and a half, it's basically quadrupled in price, and it's only a rare. So I'm just trying to investigate and figure out what the heck is happening. I wouldn't pick up this card. I'm sorry. I would have to see something happen at YCS Pittsburgh. Somebody has to show me a way that this card is going to be really good, because again, if you're playing it in a deck like True Dracos, okay, you activate it, but now you can't summon any of your effect monsters. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You already have to have a masterpiece on the field from like your last turn, and at that point, like, I know they banned Vanity's Emptiness, but I would rather just try and find a different floodgate or something like that. Like, couldn't you flip over a skill drain? Wouldn't Masterpiece be unaffected by a skill drain if you happen to tribute a trap? Or is Masterpiece just your opponent's effects? If it's not your opponent's effects, if it's just any effect, then, like, I don't know, play fucking skill drain or something like that and True Dracos. Anyways, rambling at this point, I just want to get people's opinions and thoughts on this. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you're not already.